All right, hello everyone. Today we're looking at the barbell bent over row. And with the barbell bent over row, we're going to be looking at doing this probably around third or fourth in our workout after we've gotten, maybe even second, after we've gotten some of the bigger lifts, like the Olympic lifts maybe, or our plyometrics, or one of our big three compound lifts out of the way. And what's great about the barbell row is that while it's not again as complex as something like the deadlift, it's still going to help develop a lot of our back, including the traps, the rhomboids, the lats. Even it's going to be hitting our rear deltoids, as well as synergistically hitting the biceps, the brachialis, and other muscles that aid in pulling, as well as also strengthening the core, just as a result of having to maintain a very rigid positioning. So some of the common mistakes that we're going to see while doing the bent over barbell row have to do with the stance. So the first thing we're going to see is people with kind of an awkward stance. Feet are too narrow or too wide. So generally we want to be about shoulder width apart with the feet, but we also want to be in an athletic position. So start with the shoulder width, but then from there we can adjust to find what's a more comfortable or athletic or strong base position for someone's feet to be in. From there, and this is probably the most common mistake that you'll see, is changing the angle of the back. So while we're performing the barbell row, whether it's going to be more of a static or more of even an explosive variation where we incorporate some leg drive maybe, we want that angle of our back to stay the same, and that's going to help build some of that static strength through just stabilizing the core, and it's going to prevent a lot of injuries that come from kind of yanking our back or flexing or extending extremely during the lift. So to kind of remedy that, we want to really focus on crunching and squeezing our abs, and building a lot of pressure through our abs. It might seem counterintuitive, but instead of thinking about straightening the back, a lot of times it's more helpful to think about squeezing the abs, and by bracing the core, we're bracing the whole trunk, which is going to help keep that straight. The other thing that we're going to see a lot is hand positioning might be kind of funky. We want to try to keep that right about shoulder width. And with that, our shoulder positioning, we don't want people to slouch their shoulders forward like that. We want them to stick their chest out and up while they're performing the lift. That's going to kind of help keep those lats locked in back, so that our arms and our shoulders don't rise out of that kind of locked in controlled position, where we can kind of really squeeze and feel a lot of the upper back and the rhomboids and our traps. So I'm going to do a couple reps here. Again, from the side, you'll kind of have a better view of that angle, but from the front, you can kind of see where my feet and hand positioning are in terms of width, and how I really want to keep an athletic stance, something that's comfortable and powerful, so that I can really feel comfortable and confident doing this movement. Another thing, and you'll see this now, is as we're lifting the bar, we want to kind of keep the same mental cues as a deadlift, where we don't want to be lazy about the way we pick it up, just rounding our back. We want to keep a straight back. We want to brace our core, and we want to hinge just like we would for a deadlift, so that we're not getting injured just in the preparation or the racking or unracking, I guess, phase of the lift. Again, I'm going just outside of shoulder width. So from here, it's supposed to be about 60 degrees, but again, if you're limited by hamstring flexibility, only go to the point where you feel like you can keep your back in a strong and straight position. So again, I'm going to brace my core, lower down, and then do a couple controlled reps.